My name's Gaynor Humphreys, and I'm Director of London Funders. A very warm welcome to all our regular attenders and anybody here for the first time. The Powerful Ideas series has been a great treat so far. Interesting and often very provocative lectures with good debate to follow and plenty of time to mingle and meet each other. There are two partners who've organised the events. We share an interest in money as well as ideas, and I'll explain that in a moment. But let me introduce Michael Quick, Chief Executive of CCLA Investment Management. CCLA invest money for more charities than any other fund manager in the UK. They're owned by their charity and public sector clients, and they manage business for their benefit through tailored services and pooled funds. They currently manage assets of more than 4.2 billion. My organisation, London Funders, is the membership organisation of funders and investors that support London's voluntary and community sector. We include all the sectors in our membership: foundations, funders from the public sector, corporate givers, and provide opportunities for them to share information and learn together, learn from each other. Our aim is obviously to contribute to the overall sustainability of the voluntary and community sector in London. And last year, our members contributed between them to voluntary organisations something like 500 million. These lectures have explored the policy landscape in which we both, CCLA and London Funders, and our clients and members, in which we operate. Each lecture has been by a key speaker from a renowned think tank to debate powerful ideas relating to the wider society and economy and their implications, particularly for the third sector. Our lecturer this evening is Mark Littlewood, Director General of the Institute of Economic Affairs. That's a think tank which has occupied a leading position in debate around the free market economy, predating many UK think tanks, founded in 1955. I think it's very smart of you, Mark, to be younger than your think tank by such a lot of years. Mark was educated at Balliol, Oxford, where he read philosophy, politics and economics, and City University Law School. For the last 15 years or so, he's worked in political communications, public relations, public affairs, in an extraordinary mix of movements and campaigns. Most recently, he was campaigns director for the human rights group Liberty, a founder and coordinator of No.5, the group which opposes identity cards and the database state, as they call it, and then head of media for the Liberal Democrats. In 2007, Mark co-founded Progressive Vision, a classical liberal think tank, and was its communications director until towards the end of 2009, when he became the IEA's fourth Director General. There was an immediate hullabaloo in the press, I remember. I think the oldest guard in the IEA had him down as a troublemaker, for some an unscholarly troublemaker. I would imagine you relished that, Mark. I'm sure you've enjoyed repositioning the IEA and bringing it into renewed prominence in the current big shifts in national public policy and in relation to the Cameron government. Mark's a regular commentator on political and economic affairs, regularly on programmes like Newsnight and the Today programme and the Politics Show and so on, and writing in many of the newspapers. Mark, you've got before you quite a broad audience. They definitely include people that I know you sometimes characterise in your blog as bloated public sector people. There are bound to be a few left-leaning would-be do-gooders amongst us. And I think you'd hate it if we just all clapped and agreed with you anyway. So I hope that we have got a really good spectrum of views that we'll be able to air when we've heard you talk. Wherever we fit on the intellectual and political spectrum, we do look forward to hearing your argument that this country's best hope lies in a fiercely deregulated, decentralised free market economy, and one in which the role of the state is slashed and not trimmed. I do, before we start, just want to mention tonight's choice of music. Those of you who've been to these lectures before will know that we have a rather imaginative colleague who has found us some music to challenge us in our thinking alongside each of the topics. And this evening's I found quite intriguing because it was Jacques Lussier playing Bach. You may wonder how this translates to the idea of deregulation. It was the Allegro from Bach's Concerto in D minor. and very much as interpreted by Jacques Lussier, the French jazz pianist. He's been recording his work about as long as the IEA has been in existence. He takes the compositions of Bach and other great composers and he loosens up the originals. He improvises, he introduces different instrumentation, he relaxes the rules, and then he's redeveloped and repackaged it for a newer market than the traditional Bach listeners. It's earned him enormous sales, it's earned him gold discs, it's broadened the market for Bach. And our colleague who chose the music says, well, is there a line we don't want to cross in this sort of development? Lussier retains the coherence and the structure of Bach. Other people who followed maybe dumb it down, create pastiche rather than real development. But then the question is, if people want to buy the poorer stuff, is it good enough? Is the market a sufficient arbiter of quality and authenticity? And I just wonder if that's a question we can all ponder as Mark shares his thoughts on how freely improvised a free market economy could be.